Let's get straight into it, Kate. We've got market updates over here. So we've had another incredible week on the stock exchange. We're looking at the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, really been another green week. We've seen a green day today, as you can see from all the green on the charts. We saw the job numbers came out today, and unemployment has risen the most since 2020 in the States in the last 3 years. So, conventional logic for people that don't know the markets would think, okay, hold on, that's going to make it a red day. But the reason that it's green is that it almost forces the Fed's hand to say, look, you're affecting employment now. Because up until this point, the Fed's been saying unemployment is still remaining very, very strong. And that means that they're going to continue with their policy of tightening. Whereas now people are hoping that this might be a signal, a flashing signal to the Fed to say to them, look, guys, you've got to stop now. Yeah, this is what's happening. Whether this is the golden bullet alone that can do it, this data, I personally am not sure. There has to be further data, and there's lots more coming out that backs it up. But it's definitely a signal that has made the market say, hold on a second, this might be something that forces the Fed to pause with their tightening that they've been doing. And as a result of that, we've seen a rally today on the stock market. We're seeing finance is green across the board here, because obviously finance has been the biggest sector that's been affected by the tightening. They've been lending, they had 10-year bonds and 5-year bonds at near zero interest rates. And now interest rates have risen so much that they can't keep up. They still getting 0%, but they're having to lend out the money and give higher interest rates. The health sector also up across the board, but always what we're interested in is technology up across the board. Also, see a slight pullback from NVIDIA, which we spoke about last week. Very big on the AI chips, and they're probably the leading company with regards to the chips inside computers that are required for AI, the GUs, I think they're called. They've gone, has now become a $1 billion company. And I think there's only 6 or 7 that are on that level. Or maybe $1 trillion, I don't know. But yeah, definitely doing incredibly well. And yeah, a really good market on the stock exchange, which is good to see. If we have a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, we're seeing green day across the board. Bitcoin's finally above that $26,000 level. We've been sitting so straight, almost like a stable coin on Ether as well. ETH above 1,900. The next couple of days are still very, very critical for both Bitcoin and ETH's short-term trajectory to see where they're going. We were expecting a bit more of a pump with Asia being able to trade. However, that is going to take a few weeks before that actually comes through. So they've started launching these exchanges, but there wasn't that pump that people thought of. But you can see it's been a green market on the crypto side in the last 24 hours. And if we go to our famous bubbles, you can see here on the day, lots of green. The bigger the green, the higher they are. Red means down, and there's very few red. So we can see LIDA has been a big winner on the day. I think this is Pulse, if I'm not mistaken. Injective protocol over here. So we got some really good winners. If we change this to a week view, we're still green, but obviously not as green. We've got our Pepe down 12%. I saw the Dogecoin community saying Pepe is now dead. I don't know that that's true. They might have a frog up their sleeve, but we'll see. Hex has had a really, really terrible week, as has Pulse. So we'll see what happens. But overall, on the week, you can see we're looking good. The ones we notice is like Solana up 10% on the week. We have a look, Bitcoin's up about 2% over here. We've got Ethereum up a similar amount of Bitcoin. So not a bad
I was
week.
looking at ETH. I just pulled up the chart. If you want to, you can pull up the screen if you want. But I was just looking at this chart from Ethereum. We were looking at it this morning to see if there was any kind of potential anything. And right now it's just like all this accumulation, and then we kind of pumped up here a little bit, came back down, and now we're kind of like in this in between where we got to see what it's going to do when it gets to these levels. If it's going to blow past them, if we can get past these things, if we can keep recording those higher lows.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. If you draw a line from that low to the left,
slow, which low?
so but a bit more to the left. So with the lowest low there, more
Oh,
to
the
the
lowest
side.
low.
Yeah, there. So no, where you were, there. So that red line there, and then you take it to the bottom of the, so diagonally take it upwards to the bottom. No, you're going the wrong way. the other way.
Straighten out the line. All right, so are you trying to go this way up?
Yeah, but I want to start from the middle one and not from the one that you've started. Yeah, so you're going to start there and then touch the next low that you see, and you'll see that if we there, yeah, and all the way across. No, so all the way to the side. More. There we go. And keep going. Keep that line going. So as long as we stay on top of that line over there, then we're not breaking that short-term resistance.
Right.
So it can go, as it moves across, that line gets higher and higher, right? The amount, as you've drawn it, is perfect. So as long as we don't break through that line, then we can say safely that we're on the short-term upward trajectory.
Right.
If we break through that line and close on a breakthrough, then you draw the line the opposite way from the top, and then you see that you don't drop it. So for now, that is what's called our key level, where we don't want to break through, and that's very short term. You can obviously go all the way back and draw that same line, and that's what they call the 200-week moving average, to get a much better idea of it, because those mean more for the long term trajectory. But as far as short term goes, you've got a very nice line there, and we just want to make sure that we do not break through that line over there.
Yeah. And pretty much we're here where like this could just keep mooning and test these levels here, or it could just keep crashing. Like we kind of just don't know. So it's not for me. Like I wouldn't be confident enough to put a buy or sell in here because I just don't know what it's going to do at these levels. So we pretty much didn't make any moves on crypto.
Yeah. So you'd want to see it hitting that blue line again, and then bouncing off, right? And the more times we hit that line and bounce off, the more established that becomes as a trend line. And the more confident you can be that we're on an upward trajectory. But for now, it's not enough data to make that call at all, but definitely the beginning of an upward trend line in the short term, as we see it.
Yep.
And the same thing goes if you actually want to draw a line from the very top of the top one, where you were, the green line, sort of there, but little bit more to the right, and then take it sideways all the way to the top of where we were today. Then you've got that same thing over there. And then you see we're crossing there. And that's why we're saying the next couple of days are going to be really, really critical, because it could go either way.
Right. It really could. It really could.
Yeah. You don't want to drop through the bottom and you don't want to drop through the top. You don't want to, so that depending on which trend line we break will determine the short-term trajectory of the coin.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much impossible to decide what's going to happen. Like you already have all this imbalance here, and it already filtered in here. So you're literally about to test these levels. So it's just hella risky right now. We just kind of stayed out of it. But anyways, that's fun, dude. That's fun to talk about. Like it's fun to talk about trade. I'm excited to be able to incorporate that